Welcome to NEXTGames Ambuscade series, July 2025 against a Fungar. And we last saw this run in 2023, and it's a good month for very easy hallmarks for people of all gearing levels. Today I provide 3 examples of the run being accomplished with 3 killing strategies. Before that though, let's get into key item acquisition. This month you need 1 plantoid kill for your first run of the day, and 3 plantoid kills for multiple runs in that same day. Now I find it's easy to get these from Gabu and Mandragora by home point warping to the Boheda tree, where you can find many nearby to get your key item from. Now if you found your own easy to get spots for experience yielding plantoid kills, please don't forget to mention them down there in the comments. Now onto the run itself, which will start off against a single Fungar called Yartsa Gunbu. Now the first strategy and quickest strategy that you can use, you see me doing right now with my well-geared ninja. Now this strategy is good for jobs that can put out high amounts of damage quickly, either through continued weapon skills or through a combination of skill chains and magic burst, as you see me doing in this example. Now the key with this strategy is to kill Yartsa Gunbu within about a minute of starting the fight. Doing so will end the fight and get you some very easy hallmarks this month. Now Yartsa takes decent damage from pretty much everything, so just get it in as efficiently as you can on the job that you're on. With my ninja, I'm doing that by way of a 5-step skill chain with dual magic burst followed by 2 hybrid weapon skills. Obviously, not all jobs will be able to use this strategy even if well geared. Now if you go much beyond the 1 minute mark into the fight, you're going to see a dark elemental spawn. If you see this, it means you didn't kill it fast enough for strategy 1, so now you need to choose one of 2 strategies from here. Now the dark elemental will start spawning adds called skullcaps soon. Now these skullcaps will have random hate and can quickly overwhelm your back line. So here I suggest that if you already have Yartsa below the 30% health threshold, just keep getting your damage in on Yartsa and your run should be over in the next 40 to 45 seconds with the damage that you've been doing. This will of course cause some skullcaps to spawn at some point, and they may start hurting your back line, but it's all buying you the time needed to finish off the main NM, which will automatically win you the run. And that's where you're trying to excel in strategy 2 is, if you're really close to just meeting that 1 minute kill mark, you can just kind of keep killing and finish off the run and still get that really quick kill in. Now this being said, if the health of that main NM is over about that 30% health threshold when the Dark Elemental spawns, such as you'll see in my lesser geared ninja example, you're going to need to manage the adds better. Here, you will want to immediately switch to that Dark Elemental and kill it as quickly as you can. It normally only takes 2 well-timed skill chains with the magic burst from the trust that I'll suggest later on. Now, while it's out, it's going to spawn some skullcaps, but as long as you switch to it quickly and start doing damage quickly, I normally only see a single skullcap spawn before he dies. Now once the Dark Elemental dies, you have another choice to make. If you killed it fast enough, only 1 or at most 2 skullcaps should be present. If that's the case, you will want to switch immediately back to Yartsa and get your damage in as quickly as you can, just like at the beginning of the run. This is because a light elemental would immediately spawn as soon as the dark elemental dies, and you can now do double damage to Yartsa while it is present. However, it will only be present for a short time, so time is precious and you don't really want to waste it killing skullcaps. Now while we watch this third and final example of me showing you that third strategy, let's discuss a 4th possible strategy, and this is going to be of course the slowest strategy. And it's going to happen if you finish off that Dark Elemental and he spawned 3 or more skullcaps. In that instance, you more than likely want to do some crowd control and kill a few of them before moving on to try and kill Yartsa before that Light Elemental despawns. Now once that Light Elemental despawns, the whole process is now going to repeat, and about a minute after that, a Dark Elemental is going to spawn and the whole thing's going to continue. Now using the strategy shown here, I have yet for the fight to go long enough for a second Dark Elemental to spawn, but just know it can happen if it's taking long enough to finish the fight. Now in regards to trust this month, they can be most helpful in getting in this damage, so don't hesitate to use them. Now my first example, I'm only using the usual trust of Star Sybil to boost my magic damage, Joachim and Korunboru for haste cap, and Yoran Oran and Monboro for curing. But when we moved into the second example with Red Mage, I used Arc EV to tank, and then brought Matsui P and Shantoto 2 for some extra magic burst damage, and then I used Ulmia to finish capping my haste and Yoran Oran for cures. In the third example, which you're seeing right now, I'm only using Ambuscade gear and weapons, not using any add-ons or plugins, and I'm not allowing myself any gear swaps. I'm using a similar configuration of trusts as my Red Mage example, where I'm using Matsui P and Shantoto 2 for extra damage, in this instance Joaquin and Koromoru for haste cap, and just Yoren Oren for curing, which really this month is more than enough. That's really about all I have to go over for this month's run. I hope you found that helpful. Enjoy the rest of the battle example, and have a great month everyone. We'll see you next time.